Built in 1988, approximately halfway between Venice in the north of Italy, is this South Garda karting, this magnificent circuit, which today hosts the third round, the penultimate round of the WSK Euro Series for 2019. Well, good afternoon, everybody. We are about to race the first of our four finals this afternoon, starting with the OK Junior category. A fantastic entry, 297 drivers in total, including 74 in the junior category. We're down to 68 for the pre-finals, and 34 drivers are on the grid. We've had 41 heats of racing, starting with qualifying on Friday morning. So before we get to the final, let's take a look back at what has happened so far this weekend here at Lonato. The American driver from New York, USA, 323, Ugo, set the track alight. On qualifying on Friday morning, he was fastest. The heat racing confirmed the fact that the Ricky Flynn Motorsport team were back. Ugo in 323, along with the other English-speaking driver, James Wharton from Melbourne, Australia, dominating the heat racing. Andrea Kimi Antonelli not far off the top step, fighting amongst the leaders along with the likes of Jamie Day, Alex Dunn, and the Sicilian Alfio Spinner. Nikita Bedrin, of course, cannot be discounted on the circuit where he came so close to taking victory in the Supermasters Series to start the season. So we get to the pre-finals, and Andrea Antonelli and the American Ugo take the respective victories, and that is the front of the grid. The karts are on the circuit. Good afternoon. Welcome to the center. Oh, let's hashtag this, the center of the karting universe. This is South Garda Karting, Lonato, round 3 of the WSK Euro Series. It also counts as a round of the Italian Championships for the junior and the OK categories. There is Andrea to the bottom right of your screen, the boy from Bologna, the city that bought us the Lamborghini supercar for Team Rosberg. He will start on pole position. We'll go through the grid completely for you in a few moments' time. It's a beautiful sunny afternoon here in Lonato, 28 degrees Celsius. Hard to believe, right here, the circuit on your screen was knee-deep in snow 1 year ago. It cancelled the show. We had to come back and race another time. It was -4, -5 degrees about a year ago. Nothing like that here today. A beautiful summer's afternoon in the north of Italy. This is South Garda Karting. This is Ian Sylvester, and as ever, your commentator for this, the third round of the WSK Euro Series. We prepare for the start of the 17-lap, 20-kilometre junior final. And the karts are on your screen. They're on the grid, and they're ready to race. Ugo to the left of your screen, the driver from New York, USA, the silver bell helmet, reminiscent of the Andretti family from his home country. He's been in superb form, the American. As I say, fastest qualifier on Friday morning. He stopped the clocks with a 48.220. Antonelli qualified third with a 48.372. That was 48 hours ago. A bit longer, in fact. That's the front row of the grid. The Italian, the American. Coming into this third round of the series leader is Robert De Haan, the Dutchman. But he just hasn't had it together so far this weekend. Of course, that can all change in the following 17 laps. Starts on the 9th row of the grid in the energy kart. As the girls leave the circuit, as ever, this ain't Formula One. We have the most beautiful grid girls in the world here in Italy. Always a feature of WSK racing as the 1 minute board goes up. And we are about to race Euro Series round 3. Of course, the series is decided next weekend under lights next Saturday night at Adria Karting Raceway. This is round 3. Team Rosberg, Antonelli, Ricky Flynn Motorsport, Ugo. Robert De Haan, the series leader, as we say, way back on grid number 17. 19, in fact. He's alongside his two Dutchmen, Laurens van Happen From the Hague in the Netherlands alongside him. 34 karts on the grid. What a tremendous sight this is. The karts are pushed into life. And we are ready to race here. The mountains towering over Lago di Garda in the background. This is the grid. Antonelli on pole. Ugo alongside Thomas Tambrinker and Nikita Bedrin. Spinner Jamie Day, the Irishman Alex Dunn. Martini Stensone, the Norwegian. Arvid Lindblad, the Londoner. And from Russia, Maxim Soldatov. From Melbourne, Australia, James Wharton alongside the Catalan Pepe Marti. Tassanapol Indirapuvasak from Thailand has been impressive. He starts alongside the boy from Brazil, Rafael Camara. Bora, Severukian, Robert Dahan, the series leader, and Lottes Van Hoppen, Christian Ho from Singapore, and the mighty Moroccan Simons and Fadi. Lawson, Dodds, Badawea and Bertuca, the Italians, Paparo, Chepel, Zhivnov, Enzo Trulli, Alexander Gubenko from Moscow in Russia. Starts alongside Markus Kayak, the Estonian, Ukrainian, Alexander Partishev, Vilay Malya, Axel Malya, and Diego Contecha from Colombia on grid number 34. Three, 2, 3 on grid number 2 from America. He's half Italian, half Nigerian, half American. I know that makes 150%, but you know what I mean. He's quick. He's for the English Ricky Flynn Motorsport team. They're back in superb form this weekend. Antonelli for Team Rosberg. The field looked good. It's a glorious summer's afternoon here in the north of Italy. Welcome to Lonato, the WSK Euro Series. This is the junior final. Another formation lap. The tension rises here at South Garda. They go around one more time. So coming into this, the third round of the series, of course, we raced the season opener at Sarno, Circuito Internazionale Napoli, and then went to Angeville, south of the French capital. A month ago, it was a gloomy, dark, cold, wet day at the circuit, Angeville in France, that hosted the World Championships back in 2006. Here we are in Lonato, and we race the final next weekend under lights next Saturday night, just down the Autostrada at Adria Karting Raceway. The 333 of Alexander Partishev for Ward Racing, the Ukrainian, on full lock as he warms up the Vega tyres. So the series leader, Robert Dahan, Thomas Tambrinker, is second coming into this round. Antonelli third, Bedrin fourth, and Jamie Day P5. That's all likely to change in 17 laps time. Green here at Lonato, and Ugo, once again, as he did in the heats, has missed the start. The American back to 4th, 5th, possibly even 6th by the end of the first corner. No problem for Antonelli as he looks behind. Ugo is already in the walls. He white lines it down into the pit hairpin for the first time. A new race leader, though, it's TTB from the Netherlands. Thomas Tambrinker gets by Antonelli. Super start by the Sicilian. That is Alfio Spinner up into third place. Tambrinker, the race leader, second in the series. And he's first on this, the first lap of the final. Move up the inside from Arvid Lindblad. In the Forza Racing Express, forces his way through. Does get it done. He'll come across the line in position number 4 at the end of the first lap. Tambrinker from the Netherlands, the Italian Antonelli. James Wharton up into third place. Fantastic start from the Australian for Ricky Flynn Motorsport. They are 1, 3 and 5. Ugo does recover, but he's being hounded by Dunn, Spinner, Bedrin, Day, Tassanapol Indirapuvasak, and Maxim Soldatov in the Energy Kart rounds out the top 10. Tambrinker leads from Antonelli, who slides down into the chicane, up into the Bridgestone hairpin. Already we have lost Axel Malya, the Swede. The end of the first lap, down the inside, it's Ricky Flynn Motorsport. 1 and 2, here comes Jimmy James Wharton. Up into second place now, as Thomas Tambrinker starts to pull away. So RFM, we're looking for Ugo. He's down in 9th position, can you believe it? from grid number 2. His Ricky Flynn Motorsport teammates run first and second. There is Arvid up into third spot. Goes by Antonelli. The Esprit. So it's the British teams in first, second and third. Ricky Flynn Motorsport. The yellow flag is out. That is for an incident with Martinez Densonet. Pepe Marti is out. The Catalan, along with Axel Malia. And unfortunately, Diego Contecha from the back of the grid is also a retirement from 34. We're down to 30. RFM 1 and 2. Forza Racing in third place. The British teams, both of them, have dropped off Team Rosberg's Antonelli somewhat. Look at James Wharton. Over the back of the Dutchman, will he throw it down the inside? Arvid says, if you don't, I will. The Londoner goes past his Commonwealth cousin. Wharton back to third place. Antonelli watches on in fourth. TTB from the Netherlands leads the way for Ricky Flynn Motorsports. Spinners just a little bit further back, the Sicilian in the Kart Republic. OTK equipment, 1, 2 and 3. Then the 2KR chassis. There's Antonelli. He goes by, picks up Wharton as well. Almost thought about having a go at Lindblad in the very next corner. Wharton will push the Italian up the straight. This is a perfect drive from Thomas Tambrinke. Flicks it into turn number 1 and 2 here at Lonato. That famous corner that every kart racer in the world worth their salt has raced lap after lap here in the north of Italy. Lindblad, the Londoner for Forza Racing. The team that dominated the 2017 championships, winning both the European title with Johnny Edgar and, of course, the World Championship with Dexter later on in the season. They have picked up a few wins since. Of course, they won the Champions Cup earlier on this season with Alex Dunn before he switched to the green team. Alex, incidentally, back in 7th position as Arvid now goes through and takes the lead. It's the Londoner for Forza Racing, ahead of James in 2nd place. Tambrinke's gone back to 4th. Then it's Spinner, the Sicilian in the KR kart, who looks behind him back to Jamie Day, who won the Super Master Series at this very circuit earlier on in the season. There's Antonelli. Didn't get the best start, but the Kart Republic chassis starting to work. For Team Rosberg, he comes down the hill on this lap number 6 of the final. Down through the chicane. Antonelli flicks it sideways. The boy from Bologna in the KR, out of the Bridgestone hairpin. Arvid Lindblad will lead them on to the straight at this, the end of lap number 6. And Alfio Spinner forces his way by. Thomas Tambrinke with a perfect start. He's falling back through the field. Ugo Ugachuko from the front row of the grid, the American. He's back in 12th spot. He's 1 spot ahead of Zanfari. Indra Puvasak, Kamada, Dodds, Christian Ho, the series leader. Robert De Haan, the Dutchman, down in position 18th. We're keeping one eye on the virtual championship. Of course, the series to be decided next weekend at Adria. As it stands, Antonelli would take over the title chase on 201 points from Tambrinke on 174. And Bedrin in third on 162. The Russian is 7th in this race at the moment. In the 3-1-0 Tony Kart, there he goes. Lindblad with a lead of 4/10 of a second now over Wharton. So it's drivers from the British Commonwealth running 1 and 2. The Englishman from the Australian, then the 2 Italians. The Dubai base Brit, Jamie Day in position number 5. Tambrinke has fallen back to 6th ahead of Bedrin and Severukian. The 2 Russians who came to grief right here in the final lap of the Super Master Series. Earlier on in the year, they're still running together. 74 drivers here this weekend, and Severukian and Bedrin running within centimetres of each other here in the final of the WSK Euro Series here at Lonato. Severukian has been so quick for Ward Racing. He's just hit the fastest second sector of the entire race. Lindblad with a 48.808. Severukian with a 48.741. Goes purple, fastest lap of the race for the Russian. He's back in 8th position ahead of the Irishman, Alex Dunn. Behind Nikita Bedrin. Artem Severukin, the fastest driver on the track. Arvid Lindblad starts to pull away, 0.4 of a second over James Wharton. Antonelli hounding the Australian, throws it in sideways to the chicane, just spectacular. From the young Italian, will he launch it up the inside? Just that too far back this time. Into the hairpin, James holds him off again. So much support for this young Australian from Melbourne, where they raced the Rotax Pro Tour earlier on today at James's home club at Eastern Lions Kart Club to the north of Melbourne, where incredibly it was -1 degrees and frost on the circuit. Here in the north of Italy, it's almost 30 degrees Celsius. The racing is white hot. The Australian runs in second. The Italian is right on the rear bumper of the Ricky Flynn Motorsport Alonso kart. Arvid Lindblad is pulling away in the Esprit for Forza Racing, and here comes Alfio Spinner as well. The Sicilian one step off the podium here at Lonato. Past half race distance again, Severukin. The Russian sets the timing screens on fire. He's done fastest sector after fastest sector, but he's still stuck in position number 8. James pulls out something of a gap from Antonelli. Now the FA kart for Ricky Flynn Motorsport is starting to work here in the sunshine of Lonato. Head down behind the steering wheel, he's got 1 kart length back to the Italian, who already has a contract with Mercedes for his future, both immediate and long term. They should be looking at Arvid Lindblad as well. The Londoner lives under the flight path of Heathrow Airport, and he's as quick as a jet. Oh yeah, that was a cliche, but look at him go for Forza Racing. From James, he's quick in that part of the circuit. Here comes Alfio Spinner. The Italians are going to go wheel to wheel, launches it down the inside. The Sicilian Spinner just sends it. Alfio now up onto the podium. That gives James breathing space. The gap, 0.4 of a second between the Englishman and the Australian. Ricky Flynn Motorsport, who took 3 world championships, first time out, 2014 with Lando Norris, who incidentally has qualified 5th for the French Formula 1 Grand Prix over at Paul Ricard. Later on this afternoon for McLaren, he took the first ever world championship for Ricky Flynn Motorsport. They're running in second, of course, Anand Ahmed and Logan Sargent taking the other titles for the English team. James in second at the moment. There is Alfio. Look at the G-forces. The young Sicilian from south of Italy holding on to the Kart Republic. It is brutal out here on the 1.2 kilometre circuit. Severukin still going quickly, but he's stuck in 7th behind behind Tembrinke. Ahead of Bedrin and Soldatov, the Russians 7, 8 and 9. Artem, Nikita and Maxim. And it's Alex Dunn from the front row of the grid from New York, USA. Ugo, he's back in 11th. 4.5 laps now remaining. Here is Arvid. The gap has gone out to 0.6 of a second. The problem for James is Alfio is coming fast. There's Antonelli going through. He's 1 step off the podium. He's ahead of Jamie Day, the Dubai-based Brit for the Lennox racing team in the Vortex-powered Esprit. Here comes Alfio. Took the WSK Supermaster Series a couple of years ago. That was in the 60cc mini class. He's only grown an inch or so taller since then, but he's still as quick as ever. The OK Junior category, the penultimate round of the WSK Euro Series. Alfio Spinner so close to the back of Wharton, but he's intelligent as well, this kid. He knows he needs to make the move clean, otherwise they risk both ending up in the wall. James will be able to hear the Amy engine on the KR kart of Alfio behind him into the Bridgestone hairpin. James is quick through this part of the circuit. Here comes Alfio. Still can't quite go through. Arvid Lindblad's looking good for the victory. A Spinner goes through into 2nd place. Well, can he do it? Can he catch the Englishman, who now leads by 0.8 of a second? Wharton sideways, spectacular, down through turn number 1. Stays clear of the ripple strip. The Englishman, the Italian, the Australian, 1, 2 and 3, and Antonelli is not off the podium just yet. 2.5 laps remaining, the WSK Euro Series here at Lonato. Down the hill goes Arvid. Wasn't really in contention throughout the heats on Friday and Saturday, but wow, the boy from London in England has come to lead here this afternoon. Into the final corner, 1 lap ago, Alfio sends it down the inside of James. The Sicilian through into position number 2 with 2.4 kilometres remaining. There's Lindblad, the gap, 0.9991 second from Arvid. Back to Alfio, then there's James. Still on the podium at the moment. Temperinke has recovered somewhat. He's still in 5th place. The virtual championship, if it ends right now, we'll see Antonelli lead by 16 points going into the series final in 6 days at Adria. There's Severukin for Ward Racing. Soldatov, Bedrin, Ugo's now inside the top 10. And Alex, the Irishman, the boy from Dublin, well, it looks as though his race is unfortunately done. He's outside the 10. He's in 11th ahead of Lorenz van Hoppen, Suleiman Zanfari, Rafael Kamara, Tassanapol Indrapulvasak, the tie. Ho Dodds, Robert DeHaan was the series leader coming into this Lonato race, but he's stuck down in position 18, which puts him 5th going into the season decider next weekend. This is the last lap of the race. Lindblad 1.1 seconds from victory. For Forza Racing, Spinner has pulled clear of James Wharton. The fight is on for the final step of the podium. James looks behind him. Andrea is right there. 3 corners to go for Arvid Lindblad. Into the Bridgestone hairpin. Wow, this kid from London looks good. He will win here at Lonato. The Forza Racing Esprit, the checkered flag comes out. The WSK Euro Series round 3 goes to the Englishman. Lindblad wins from Spinner. James holds on for P3 on the podium. Antonelli 4th takes the series lead into Adria in 6 days' time. Temperinke finishes P5 from Severukin, the fast finishing Russian. Soldatov, Bedrin, Jamie Day and Ugo, a disappointing race for the American. From grid number 2, he never did recover from that bad start. He does round out the top 10. Let's take a look at a replay, the highlights. Here at Lonato, Antonelli first into turn number 1. The race was effectively over there and then for Ugo. He fell back through the field. He was already in the wars on the opening laps. James and Thomas, Ricky Flynn Motorsport 1 and 2, but Arvid, who actually, let's remember, he came from the 5th row of the grid number 9 for Arvid Lindblad, comes through, picks them off one by one, and pulled away to take the win by 1.3 seconds. Alfio Spinner, just superb. The young Southern Italian, the checkered flag, Forza Racing in the Esprit win from Alfio Spinner, and James Wharton from Melbourne takes the final step of the podium here this afternoon. Arvid takes the victory for Forza Racing, the team run by Jamie Croxford. They are the World Championship winning team from 2 years ago, and they take the victory here this afternoon in the WSK Euro Series penultimate round. Lindblad from Spinner and Wharton. The Englishman, the Italian, the Australian, that is your podium. Antonelli 4th here, but takes the series lead into Adria in 6 days' time when we race under lights next Saturday night. 17 points clear of Temperinke, Bedrin, Spinner. Robert DeHaan still 5th in the series. Wharton equal with him on 124 points. And with that victory, Arvid Lindblad comes from nowhere to move into 7th in the series. He still is in contention for the title next weekend. Podium here at South Garda-Carning, a fantastic race. And on the 3rd step of the podium from Melbourne, Australia, for Ricky Flynn Motorsport, it's James Wharton. In 2nd place, a super drive from the Super Sicilian, Alfio Spinner. From the 5th row of the grid, let's not forget for Forza Racing from London in England, the winner of this round of the Euro Series, Arvid Lindblad. The 3rd place trophy to James Wharton of Australia. Second place, the Italian Alfio Spina. From London in England, the winner is Arvid Lindblad. As we stand by for the national anthem of Great Britain. A quick word, firstly, with James. A great weekend. You've been on the podium, not quite the top step. Came back from a difficult result in the pre-final. Congratulations, mate. The podium here this afternoon.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Thanks to the team for having the cart right. Just really fast at the start, going to the lead, and then just had to drop off a little bit, but still really good result from where we were in the pre-final, from 11th to 30s. Good enough for me.
Well done, mate. And look behind you, the Aussie flag on the podium. Not bad, eh? Alfio Spina, bravissimo. Che gara oggi pomeriggio. Velocissimo. Complimenti.
Sì, è stata una bellissima gara, molto rimontata. Alla fine sono riuscita a conquistare il podio.
Grande, bravo, Alfio. And Arvid from grid number 9, we were watching the front. You picked them off one by one. A fantastic win here this afternoon. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been an amazing weekend. We've been fast all weekend. We never struggled for pace, and I'm just so happy to be on the top step. And I'd just like to thank everyone who's helped me be here today. Everyone at Forza Racing, Jamie, Croxford, my mechanic, Xavi, my mum and dad, and my little brother. Thank you.
Well done, Arvid. James, Alfio, and Arvid, the junior podium, stay with us here at Lonato, the WSK Euro Series Round 3 2019.